Welcome back, everyone. This is the Soccer Talk Lads podcast, or the STL podcast. If you're hip, if you're cool, if you're swell. My name is Stephen Ground. I just got back from voting in the state of Florida. I just wrote in Jesse Marsh for every position. I thought that was best. I figure congressperson, commissioner of agriculture, really the whole gamut, school board. I'm doing well.
I trust his politics.
That's right. I'm here with Justin Horniker, as usual, checking in from Kansas City. I used to say the KC side of the state, but that's not the state I'm in anymore. So how is wonderful Kansas City right now, Justin?
Oh, it's fine. It's a beautiful day outside. I got a nice little walk in,
And what jersey are you wearing today?
My Atalanta jersey matches my scarf behind me. So for those of you.
Very nice. Very nice. And we have the exceptional treat today of also being joined by our third co-host, Ian Peters. Ian from St. Louis. How are you doing today?
I've been here the whole time. I've been here for every podcast. I've just been silent.
We've actually been keeping him on mute the whole time.
That's right. I've got a lot to say.
And Ian, you're wearing a shirt with baseball bats on it. So, which is neither the sport we're talking about nor a sport that you watch particularly closely.
Not even the Cardinals.
I know, it's a dental night at the park. I'm not a dentist either. I'm none of these things.
But you're not an anti-dentite. So
that's right. That's right. I do believe in teeth.
Exactly. So we are reunited.
Disclaimer to make your dentist appointment, everyone.
That's right. Take care of your chompers and they'll take care of you. We are reunited to do a deep dive into the first 3 or so weeks of the Premier League season and the total collapse that is Liverpool Football Club. I don't want to talk about it. I won't talk about it, but I will probably be forced to talk about it. But first, let's put Ian right on the hot seat to talk about Tottenham's 1-0 victory over Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I like how they're both the Wolves and the Wanderers. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't.
No.
Here we are. Ian,
Wolves wander. Yeah,
I guess. I mean, I suppose. Do they do it aimlessly though? Because I think wandering.
No. They definitely have a territory. Yeah.
So we'll have to check in with the officials in Wolverhampton on that one. But Ian, apart from the controversial naming conventions, how did you feel about this game and your team's dominant success? Can we call it dominating? I'd call it dominating.
Can we call it exciting?
Yeah, I was gonna say they sure are winning. Is it exciting? I don't know, but they're taking the New York Islanders approach to winning. I mean, it's great. Even the draw they had was against Chelsea, and they were down, and so really, it's a winning draw if you look at it that way. That's a win of a draw. Hotspurs are definitely hot. 2 victories, 1 draw thus far. I think they're pretty lucky to get out of the half tied in this game against Wolves. I thought Wolves actually looked pretty good for the first half there. Had a few lucky bounces, a few lucky saves, a post, I believe. So a little lucky in that first half, but then the second half tilted more in Tottenham's favor there. Kane had a number of scoring chances, and he finally delivered in the 63rd minute. And then I got to learn that this was his 185th goal while playing for Tottenham, which is the most goals any player has scored for one club in the Premier League era, which is pretty cool. It sounds like other than him and Son, they're the only people that can score, but that means that all the goals go through him. So therefore, what a premier goal scorer that is. It was interesting. It was very interesting. I know they said this Ivan, or I think as someone even pronounced it, Ivan Perisic.
Don't get me started on English pronunciations.
They've
been saying Roberto Martinez for like 2 decades.
When they said it, I was like, this is a very aluminium thing to say. I don't think this is right. I know they got him from Inter Milan, and he looked really good on the wing. Even was the assist on that goal, redirecting a corner to Kane. It was a nice goal. The rest of the game, pretty darn boring. More exciting. The 2-2 draw was more exciting than this, American listeners. so draw's not so bad. Draw's exciting games. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, they've really Wolves, I think, from my limited knowledge, seem like they're an all right team. The first team that they played, oh god, no, I can't remember. Was it West Ham? No, it wasn't West Ham. It was Southampton. One of the teams I didn't know was in the Premier League. They stomped on pretty hardcore, but that's because even I didn't know they were in the Premier League. So that means they suck. And a draw against Chelsea is pretty good, but it'll be interesting to see them play some of those other top tier teams and see how they do. It seems like Tottenham, from my viewing, is a team that slowly, very, very slowly ramps up every single game. It seems like the first half is never their
Emphasis
half.
on slowly.
Yeah, never their half, and then they're like, oh, but in the last 20 minutes, look out. And it kind of goes both ways. Then it feels like they're not dominating the last 20 minutes. It feels like it's just going back and forth, which is more exciting. But yeah, I've been told that Tottenham is the St. Louis Blues of the Premier League prior to the Stanley Cup victory. So if I've learned anything, this means that this dominance will not last, and my hope will be shattered.
What did you think of Antonio Conte's handshake? Was it good this game? I didn't pay attention.
Yes, it was a regular handshake. They both shook each other's hands and they looked each other in the face and both looked like they were like, this is fine. Okay, unlike last week where I don't even know. I've rewatched that number of times and it looks like Conte's just like a handshake and I just want to leave. But then he like turns around like he's been zapped in the palm by electricity. Like, oh, hey,
I believe
still holding my hand.
My understanding of the situation is that Tuchel wanted eye contact and Conte just wanted a handshake, and that's where the misunderstanding came in. And then just all
there. I need a gif. I need a gif of Conte turning around because he looks like someone was like about to stab him in the back. He swings around so fast, like, oh my god, this man is still holding onto my hand. Death is right in front of me.
And that man is used to people trying to stab him, so he
seems like a fun coach. He seems like a fun guy.
Ian, you ask and I deliver. Here you go. Here's your gif. It's in the notes now. It won't go on to the page that we're all looking at, but there we go. There we go.
Oh yeah.
I love
Very
it.
important that we have.
It's like the momentum of fury just whips him around.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know that the other guy would actually looks him in the eye either. Neither of them look each other in the eye until they whip around.
Nope, not at all.
Honest to God, it looks like they both are surprised that their hands didn't come apart. They're just like, whoa, did you put glue on your hand? He goes, you look at me in the eye. I did not put glue on my hand.
Fair is like Conte looks at his hand, like he's confused that his hand is still attached to Tuchel's.
Yeah, I feel like it's literally like the handshake, and then they both forgot what a handshake was and got angry at the other person. Unbelievable. I think this has cemented me as a Tottenham fan for this man alone.
He does bring the fire, and somebody needs to Tottenham because they are boring as hell. But hey, they win, and that's all that really matters in the end, you know? Crystal Palace had a 3-1 defeat over Aston Villa, one of the 5 teams that Ian couldn't remember when he tried to name all 20 teams in the Premier League for us the other day. Villa scored first in the 4th minute, but Crystal Palace dominated the villains, the best. There's a word for like the name you use for people from a certain place. I'll look it up in a minute.
Okay.
But the best of those in the world. And the rest of the way, Crystal Palace was in charge with 2 goals from 29-year-old Will Saha, who was probably on my bench in our fantasy league that I'll never remember to add it, and a 3rd from Zatata, which is, Zaha and Zatata really got your bases covered there.
Have some fun names, I've got to say.
They do. Are they a fun team though, Justin? Answer that for me.
I think so. Like I've watched 2 of their games this year, which is more than I can say for them usually. And I think that speaks to them actually being entertaining for once.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. They seem to be a fun team. But I mean, they're still Crystal Palace. They'll still find ways to lose.
Yeah. I don't know how good Patrick Vieira is. Like, can he, they're mid-table, right? It'll be boring. It'll get boring here at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Ian, do you have any thoughts on Crystal Palace?
Are they in London?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember which teams are in London. I know West Ham is, and I also know of all the teams that are in London that are currently in the Premier League, it's the furthest east.
That's
Great job, Ian.
true.
Just fantastic start to the podcast so far.
Did y'all know that there was an actual building called the Crystal Palace, and that the stadium is built on or near the grounds of that building, which looked impressive.
On or near. I like how it's like not that specific.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying I don't know that. I'm maybe said somewhere in this article. It was built to house the Great Exhibition of 1851. And there were more than 14,000 exhibits, and it's 990,000 square feet of exhibition space developed during the Industrial Revolution. So there you go.
It looks like the Jewel Box in Forest Park, about the same size and same significance.
Exactly the same size, exactly as old, and exactly as important.
Exactly as many weddings hosted there every weekend.
That's right.
It cost $2 million to develop at the time, which they say is $280 million in 2019 money, which, with the way inflation's going, is about $1.5 trillion in 2022 money. So, yeah, we always like to make sure that you leave the STL podcast with a little more than just soccer knowledge.
That's where you come for your geographical history. I think.
You want to sharpen your corner kicks and your mind, and that's what we're here for. Everton and Nottingham played each other, which is just unfortunate for everyone involved. And it was a 1-1 finish. Both teams managing to score goals is an accomplishment in and of itself. Everton scored their first goal of the season in the 90th minute, preventing the Nottingham Forest victory. Nottingham are bad and Everton are worse. And that's all I have to say about this game. Anyone else?
No, yeah, I think that's right. They did beat West Ham, which I think speaks more to West Ham than it does to them, though. It's not good. It's not great.
Does Everton stay up this year?
If we'll talk about a real or fakes later, I think Everton is real in their where are they at right now? They are in 17th, so relegation battle all year, baby.
Yeah, they for sure are, at least in the battle, I would say. Fulham's not going to be in the battle, though, I don't think, which is upsetting to me. But they beat Brentford 3-2. They probably had one of the best games of the week here. It was back and forth with goals from Bobby Reed. How do you say it? Paulinia. I'm bad at names. And Mitrovic for Fulham, with Norgard and Ivan Toney. Love Ivan Toney scoring for the Bees.
Both just fun. Both kind of fun teams, actually.
The Bees' knees, but they were not the knees in this game, just the Bees.
Right.
Your thoughts on this game, Justin?
Yeah, no, I thought that was a really fun game. Like I said, it's very back and forth, and then Alexander Mitrovic just pulls down a corner on sheer will at the end. So he's definitely playing with a chip on his shoulder. And I don't know, I think Fulham are kind of legit. And Brentford too. They're both actually pretty fun to watch, pretty attacking this year.
And by legit, you mean upper mid table?
Yeah, 11th or 12th.
Yeah. Leicester and Southampton played each other. Southampton walked away with the 2-1 victory. Would you tell us about this one, Justin?
Yeah, pretty dominant by Southampton, who have had some decent performances through the first 3 weeks, keeping Leicester to 0.24 expected goals. Leicester are in trouble, especially if James Maddison gets sold, which it's looking like it's possible because there are a lot of rumors that are popping up around him. And that is an issue if you're Leicester.
Who's he going to be sold to, though? That's
I don't know.
Could it be Liverpool because they need?
Could be Liverpool. Chelsea seem to have like made an offer for I think every single midfielder in the Premier League, so that's possible.
I do really like James Madden this instance, so you know.
I think he would probably be like if I'm Liverpool, I'd make that like. Especially with their issues in the midfield right now.
Liverpool needs some serious help in the midfield, but we'll get to that later.
Jordan Henderson being old.
James Milner being old. Fabinho being, not old, but not young. Thiago being old and hurt.
Your problem is James Milner is starting in 2022. That's an issue.
That's right.
I'm looking at this from a non-biased perspective.
That's right. I've been broken. Ian, pop quiz. How many Beatles songs reference the town of Southampton?
The one.
Correct. As
I was
far
like,
as
if
I
it's more
know,
than one,
It can't be more than
That's
one. It cannot
ridiculous.
be.
Arsenal continue their title campaign. Horrifying words to speak into existence, and words that will certainly be proven false in the long run. They were about as dominant as you can imagine Arsenal being, with a 3-0 victory over Bournemouth. Does that say more about Arsenal or Bournemouth? What do you think, Justin?
I mean, like, Gabriel Jesus just is good. Like, Bournemouth are bad because I think on the first Gabriel Jesus goal, they essentially just like send a ball into the air to him and he holds off like 3 Bournemouth defenders and brings it down. So I think it says more about Bournemouth than Arsenal, but Arsenal are a top 4 team, and
You gotta beat whoever you play.
you gotta beat who's
so.
in front of you. And like, looking at Arsenal's schedule, like, it's pretty easy. They don't play Tottenham until October. I don't know what that Manchester United game looks like in a couple weeks with, I don't know where they're at right now. So, but like, they don't play any tough opponents until October. So they're going to have a decent lead until then.
And I'll tell you, I think whenever you can give a 25-year-old world-class midfielder to a team in your own league for free, that's a good strategy, and you should do that. So,
like, the weird thing about that is like, Gabriel Jesus comes in, and like, Manchester City are stupid for letting him leave, but if he stays at Man City, like, he also doesn't play this year because Haaland is starting over him. So it's like a really weird situation for him. Yeah,
it's weird, but you would think they could have gotten something for him, or just not sold him to a Premier League team. But whatever.
Yeah.
Brighton and Hove and Albion, can't forget, defeated West Ham, who looked to be in trouble early on. The goals outplayed West Ham with goals from Mark Allister and Troussard, or McAllister, not Mark Allister.
Whichever Allister.
Like the sandwiches.
yeah. McAllister's a great deli, but an even better player for Brighton and Hove. Do you have anything more to add here, Ian or Justin? Ian, I know you're a big Brighton and Hove Albion fan, so your thoughts?
Albion. I also forgot this was a team. No, I did remember it was a team. I remember there being the Seagull team, but I was like, I don't know. They're not called like the Seagulls.
I think you forgot both these teams, didn't you? Because you didn't remember West Ham either.
No, I remember West Ham. It was like Southampton, Newcastle.
All the Hams. He's got the Hams down.
Bournemouth.
I don't know why I remember Bournemouth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Brighton. Oh, you remember Bournemouth?
Yeah, I didn't get Brentford.
West Ham. Can we talk about how likely is that David Moyes is going to get fired? Like, when does he get fired? Because they have scored 0 goals and allowed 5 against.
I can't believe he hasn't already been fired. He is so boring. And the only justification for keeping David Moyes is if you are actively not losing. And the moment you've lost more than 2 games, why is he still there?
Yeah, they're real bad.
They're real bad, and he is not helping. I like that his career tenures in coaching are Preston North End from 98 to 2002, Everton from 2002 to 2013, because they loved to embrace mediocrity.
He had him in like 7th place a lot of times.
That's right. 7th place is right where you want to be, too. And then Man United, Real Sociedad, Sunderland till he dies. And then I like this little part. 2017 to 18, West Ham United, and then 2019 to present, West Ham United.
Yeah, he left, and then they're like, we got to bring him back. We got to bring back that David Moyes.
Yeah, you got to love that expiring deal and then immediately returning, because how could we let David Moyes go?
How could you?
So, he is tall. He's 6'1". So for, soccer managers, that's not bad. So, the less said about Brighton about West Ham, the better. Man City falling into Liverpool's bad habits by drawing against a team that they certainly should have beaten. Although they did do it from behind as opposed to from ahead, so I suppose that's better.
Yeah, but like, is it though? Is it really better?
No, it's really not. It's the same, and it's bad. But Man City were down 3-0. They scored goals from Haaland and Silva, Milgi Almiron and Kieran Trippier scored. Trippier's was really beautiful. And how much are you reading into this game for Man City, if anything?
They got 2 goals back like really easily, and it makes you wonder. Like, I don't know, they're just such a better team than Newcastle. Like, I'm all for Man City dropping points, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not upset about that.
No, I don't think anybody.
I just don't think you can really like read a lot into this.
Even if you're not a Liverpool fan, like, who's out here wanting Man City to win again?
No one, not a one.
Yeah. Man United and Liverpool, that was a game and it happened. So moving on to the Major League Soccer. Justin, go ahead. Go ahead and take us through this.
I can talk about it, then you can rant and rave about it a bit.
I don't even want to. I don't even
It's over.
Yeah, just go.
Liverpool come in to Old Trafford, Manchester United team in total free fall coming into this game after losing 4-0 the week before to a not good team. And
that's Manchester United, by the way. Just want to clarify. Liverpool was only in mild free fall before this game.
Yeah. Now they're in free fall, and now Manchester United is only in mild free fall. Yeah, and Erik ten Hag has right the ship. Manchester United go with the starting lineup featuring Varane and Martinez over Maguire, which worked out real well for them because Lisandro Martinez is actually good at playing the ball. So is Rafael Varane, which Harry Maguire is not good at, and they had a real good job controlling the ball through the first half. Liverpool looked like they had real trouble settling into this game, and goals from Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. When has that ever happened? It hasn't ever happened, actually. And then afterwards, Liverpool swap out Henderson for Fabinho and Milner for Carvalho at like the 66th minute. And that's when they really started to get back into the game. A lot of shenanigans after that first Liverpool goal where Bruno Fernandes goes to hold on to the ball, and then everyone's fighting with him for it. Then he like fakes like he got poked in the eye, and there's just a lot of kids playing, really wealthy kids playing with footballs. And it was a good game for United. It's kind of like the magnum opus for what Erik ten Hag wants to do with this team. And you kind of got an idea of who he likes playing. Looked a lot better without Ronaldo, without Harry Maguire. Crazy how that happens. And they look okay. A lot less worried than I would have been if we recorded this podcast last week. Okay, Steven, go ahead.
I have nothing to say. It's all been said. It's all over. No,
you think that Hendo is getting old? Is that what happened here?
It certainly doesn't help that he is old. Liverpool made some decisions this summer. Some of them were good decisions. Some of them were not good decisions. They didn't really improve their midfield because they spent money on Darwin Nunez and obviously extending Mohamed Salah, which I think everybody is in favor of. But their midfield is, not that strong in a league where midfield dominates a lot. I would say they've got
very important.
They currently have 8 midfielders listed on their roster page, Justin. I would like to challenge you to name all 8.
Ooh, okay. Name all 8. Definitely Fabinho. Is Trent's not a midfielder, so I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Jordan Henderson.
Although you can wonder, there are questions to be asked for sure.
James Milner, I guess. Fabio Cavallo. Okay, that's 4.
No, he's not. He's technically a forward in this ranking. But, I give you credit for knowing him.
Harvey Elliott?
Yeah. Harvey Elliott, very good.
That's it. That's all I got.
You forgot one big one. You forgot 2 big ones, arguably.
Diego Jota. Yeah.
No, he's a forward as well.
Damn it.
You forgot Thiago.
Thiago, of course, and Navi Kita. Maybe
Naby Keita, if
Keita?
he doesn't get transferred before the end of August.
That's what that's
And then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
of
Whoa.
course. How did I forget
And
AOC?
Curtis Jones. Yes, the most famous AOC in the world, I would say. And Curtis Jones. Now,
I would never guess Curtis Jones. That would have never.
Of course you would. I'm not dead inside. To me, that's just not a midfield. Like Fabinho at his best is really, really good. Thiago at his best is extraordinarily good, but also old.
Old and hurt a lot.
Has almost never been at his best for Liverpool. And Jordan Henderson can be extraordinarily good, but he can also be unbelievably middling and average. And none of those reinforcements really have a chance to give you a very different look. So I think their midfield's in really bad shape. I think their unwillingness to spend with the teams that they have to compete with on that same level, to spend with those guys and to, spend the money they have as one of the richest clubs in the world with huge deals with Nike and Standard Charters and all these, massive inflows of money that they have, not to mention selling players all around the world. I think they're in a bad shape. And obviously, I don't think they're obviously not even I would say they're still pretty much locked in Champions League team. I can't even imagine it being as much of a disastrous season as fifth place would be. But they certainly need to right the ship very quickly, or there are going to be even bigger questions that they have to answer. They did have, I would say a bit of a tough schedule to start out, not to make any excuses, but they had Fulham right out of the gate, and obviously Fulham looks better than you would expect them to. And when you're playing the first match, you don't necessarily know that. The draw with Crystal Palace, not super forgivable, but they were down a man. And then Man United. Now they've got Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, and Wolves. So, they better put 12 points on the board. And if they don't, then it starts to become a real problem when you face Chelsea and Brighton and Liverpool, or they're Liverpool. I knew that. Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal, and Man City back to back. So you need 12 out of these next 4 games. And if
you also need to not have 36-year-old James Milner starting any of those games, I think.
That's also very, very, very true. So if you can get those 12 points, then, I think their title hopes are already pretty much dashed almost, that's obviously extreme and not true. If they won out, they'd probably win the title, but they're in that neighborhood where they're already done a lot of damage to their title hopes. But Liverpool, they need to be pretty successful pretty immediately.
And you could they could panic a little bit here, because I don't think City are going to dominate, because their eyes on the Champions League, and they've already dropped points. So there's room to struggle a little bit at the start of the season and come back, but they need to figure it out.
Yeah, agreed 100%. So those are my Liverpool thoughts. Shall we move to real or fake in the Premier League table?
Let's do it.
Are Arsenal as champions real or fake?
Big ol' fake. I think that they're a champion. I think they'll be top 3, but they're not going to win.
Yeah, wow, top 3 is pretty strong.
Say fake.
Manchester City, obviously real. Nobody's doubting that. Leeds United, the American boys, who we didn't talk about at length today. But you know why? Because we skipped Leeds United entirely. That's my fault. Let's go to that game.
While we're on the subject.
Exactly. That's my bad. Leeds beat Chelsea 3-0. And Chelsea also not looking great, obviously. Brendan Aronson had the EPL Team of the Week level performance. Tyler Adams also looked very strong. I believe it was the first time a American player had scored the game-winning goal for a team coached by an American coach in a Premier League game, which is a mouthful and not saying that much.
The fall in the year 2022 on August 20th.
That's right. The year of our Lord 2022. The Aronson goal was incredible. He's very good. He's probably better than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Just as an overall player. Tyler Adams is very good. Chelsea can't score under Tuchel in the margins that they need to make up for allowing 3 goals. And Jesse Marsch completely outclassed him, which, as you said, is a sentence you just got to write in 2022. So
yeah, and he like played the manager games before the game and after the game too, and like, yeah, it just makes you so happy to see it. Just completely in Tuchel's head the whole time.
Jesse Marsch to the moon, I say.
I say so too.
Leeds has big favorite team vibes,
Yeah.
like nobody can hate, no American can possibly hate Leeds. So good for them. So are they real or fake?
I don't think it's real, but
that they're a Champions League team.
They're a Champions League team, but
Yeah.
I think they'll be like top 10.
But
they'll be in that like that 7 to 12 range where everyone gets all clustered, I think.
They're certainly not in the relegation conversation either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tottenham, Ian, are they real or fake?
Fake. I'm going to get ahead of this one. I'm going to say they're fake.
Okay.
Look, I don't know. I mean, they just play so boring. They can't. Can you maintain this level of boring and win?
I mean, I've watched Jose Mourinho coach in this league, so
I mean, I suppose you can, but I'll believe it when I see it.
But yeah, it's hard to know. Brighton and Hove Albion, are they
fake?
Wow. Okay. Newcastle United, are they fake or real?
Fake,
I would say fake.
Yeah. Fake.
Fulham is, I don't know if they're
real
7th place team, but they're real as a not relegation team. Which
I wouldn't be surprised if they finish 7th. Like, I think that's well in the realm of possibility.
Brentford in 8th, I think, is pretty real. Crystal Palace in 9th, I think, is pretty real. Nottingham Forest in 10th is not real. I
fake.
Don't believe
that is made up.
I don't believe it reading it now, and I've been following their games pretty closely because a friend of mine down here has subjected himself to Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace as his 2 teams for some reason.
That one was made by a writer.
Why?
Right. Because he hates fun. Yeah, exactly. That one was fiction. Have you ever been to a Turkish bath? Anyway, Southampton, I love those videos. Southampton as 11, that seems very real.
That seems right. Yeah.
In the middle. Chelsea all the way down at 12th. I mean,
that's fake.
Fake, but probably not as fake as we would have expected. Aston Villa, 13th. Sure, why not?
Real.
Manchester United. Let's just say, are they a top 8 team this year?
Yes. I think top 8. Like, if they finish 8, I think no one's gonna have qualms with that after the start. And
yeah, gotcha. No, I think that's fair. AFC Bournemouth being bad is very real. Liverpool being bad, as much as it angers me, I don't think is real.
Fake.
Everton,
yeah, they're definitely like 14th place, not 16th.
Everton being bad is very real to me. Wolverhampton, Leicester, and West Ham. I don't think any of them are very good. But I will say I don't think any of those teams get relegated. I'll go out on a limb right now and say I don't think they get relegated. But
West Ham's interesting to me because it depends on like how long
if they don't fire Moyes for 2 more months, then maybe. But no, I mean, I think Bournemouth, Everton, maybe Wolverhampton is in the conversation for relegation, but I think you're looking at Nottingham too, and some of those teams that are a bit farther up right now. So I don't think Leicester or West Ham do, but anything could happen. And I guess if they sell James Madison, then they could be. So
yeah.
MLS Next Pro playoffs are a place where St. Louis City SC is going to be going, which was a very naturally constructed sentence. That
is one of the better segues we've ever had, really.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone speaks the way I just spoke in the year of our Lord 2022. Ian, can you quickly, for the fans who might not know, tell us what MLS Next is?
Also, just to to take a peek behind the curtain, I wrote it out that way, so I could have written anything down in Stephen Wilkins.
It is playoffs for the teams that are underneath MLS teams. The next tier, maybe the next tier.
That's pretty close. That was a kind of stabbing in the dark and sort of hit something. You know, you drew some blood.
Some context clues, yeah.
This is the level of the MLS that Triple H used to run. But now he runs the regular MLS, right? That's right.
Yeah, this is the NXT of MLS.
That's right.
It's very true, very much.
2.0.
This is like, in like STL City have some like real WWE guys in there that they just want to give like an NXT run to just to see if they can draw some eyes to it, you know? I think that checks. That tracks.
We've lost everyone. They're all gone.
Everybody wants what we've got, Ian. And Justin, would you say or would you not say that Celio Pompeo is like the Braun Breaker of St. Louis City?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Now we've gone too far.
And it's over.
So City played a few of their future MLS regulars in this game against the not very good San Jose Quakes 2.
He's more the Tony D'Angelo, I think, of
that's
roster.
true. But Justin, I'm going to be honest, a little racist.
Gets away with murdering people on live television, apparently.
That's right. He does do that. So, you know, but he's a Bambino. What are you going to do? You know, they had goals from Watts, Pedro, Joao Klaus scored 2 because he's an MLS player and former international. And
a little bit too good. Probably should not be allowed to play in this games. But
Celio Pompeo also, but then San Jose scored twice on a 9-man City team.
Pedro got a red at the 45th minute, like right before the half, and then we still scored.
He's like, I've played half of this game.
Yeah,
I'm not.
We still scored 2 goals down a man in the second half. Like, looking good, right? It didn't even look like we were down a man. So like maybe we should have entered this game. It should have been 11-on-10. And then we go down to 9 men and they come back a little bit, but
that's right.
What you gonna do?
We clinched a playoff spot. We're currently 7-1-1 through 9 matches and sitting in second place. Anything you want to point to? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, the last 9 matches, and that kind of tracks with when a lot of our kind of MLS players came over and started being used in the lineup. So that's probably about right. You want your MLS guys to be playing well in MLS Next Pro. Yeah. But it's good to see them playing together. And like you could see in this game, they had some nice interplay, some nice crisp passing, which you don't see a lot with just the MLS Next Pro guys. So that's encouraging to see.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves subpar second league hockey. Is there anything
second league soccer where it's like, if I don't think you guys have been subjected to any of these games, but it's just like a steady cam that kind of like pans as the games go by. So it's very exciting to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. Is there anything about the MLS table that you wanted to point out, Justin?
Is there anything that I wanted to point out? I just thought we could look through and just have a conversation a bit. We're starting to get to the point where things are crystallizing a little bit outside of like Toronto have been playing better since their Italian nationals came over. And that's maybe where you look at, like, does Inter Miami fall out? New England are starting to play better than they're in quite the slump to start the season. Atlanta United looking like they're not going to make the playoffs, which is very wild.
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be good.
Yeah, they usually are. You see, usually are, Ian. Usually are.
I've even seen bumper stickers show them up here. People love them.
People do love Atlanta United. And then like over in the West, Seattle and Portland are both out of a playoff spot as well. Sporting Kansas City down in last place, and they were a top 3 team last year. So very topsy-turvy in MLS this year.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, what's gonna happen when we come in and just throw it on its head again when we're in first place next year?
That's right.
Don't give me these promises.
When we win MLS, and
we are a fringe playoff team next year.
No. St. Louis City SC winning MLS is never going to happen. Just like Ian winning this quiz is never going to happen.
Oh, here we go.
Ian, welcome back. We're so
I will
glad
not be
to have
returning
you.
for 2 months.
We've been sitting on this quiz for like
I
4
have had this
episodes.
quiz bookmarked as for probably 4 months, 4 or 5 months, 6 months. And I realized, Ian, when we worked together before in a prior lifetime, I had a bookmark just on my Google tabs as Torture Ian. And I realized I would occasionally be sharing my screen, and that would just be a bookmark other people could read and see. So I had to hide it under random. But
Random.
now
Got called into HR.
that's right. But now it has finally come. This is your quiz. It is a Sporkle quiz, but we won't hold you to the time limit. Although that'd be fun. But we really want to milk your suffering as much as possible. We don't want you playing the clock. This is more of a baseball timeline than until every torture has been endured.
They can score 25 on you, and you still got to go out there and play.
Yeah, here's what's going to happen, Ian. I'm going to give you 3 soccer team names, and you're going to have to tell me what country those teams play in. It's simple. It's simple, okay? And we're starting out real easy with Birmingham City, Stoke City, and Sunderland.
That's England.
Correct. Very good. Now we move to Real Sociedad, Osasuna, and Mallorca.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Already a problem.
Oh no.
Spain.
That's correct. You're 2 for 2. Great job.
Oh,
Now we've got
A little more
Chievo.
difficult than I would have thought it would be, though. Gotta say.
We've got Chievo, Livorno, and Udinese.
Repeat those for me. Repeat.
Chievo, Livorno, and Udinese.
Italy.
That's correct. You are correct. Italy
Yeah,
is the
here we
right
go.
answer.
Nice job.
You're doing so great, Ian. We're so proud of you.
Here comes
Everybody's really enjoying it.
here
What
comes
do
the
you think's
world
coming?
doll.
Nothing's
Here comes the
coming.
world old Falkland Islands or freaking
Nothing's
Christmas
coming.
Islands or whatever.
Ian, you know me better than that. We're moving on to a pretty obvious one. The Central Coast Mariners, the Newcastle Jets, and Western United. Okay, that's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious, right, Justin? I mean, I'd say we'd all agree that's pretty obvious. It's
What
straightforward.
countries have a Newcastle, you know?
Yeah.
I know. Oh god. So is this like England again?
Is it? Is that what
Yes,
you
it's
think it
England.
is? It's not. It's
I mean,
not.
technically, Australia probably could be known as England.
It is
Boo, that's
Australia.
England. That's England. They still got the queen on their money.
England
Uh-huh.
again.
That's right. Correct.
This is just
F-
England again.
FSV Mainz 05, VfL Bochum, and SC Freiburg are next. This one should get you right
Please-
back on track.
Please be Germany. It's Germany.
That's correct. Although Germany, not the only German-speaking nation, so you should probably
that.
think about that when you go forward.
Racist.
St. Mirren, Aberdeen, and Dundee United.
That's Scotland.
Correct. Ian, you're doing so well. We're
Pure
so
AI.
proud of you.
The only reason I know of Aberdeen is from The Simpsons because Groundskeeper Willie is big
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
That's right. And Ian, here's a slow pitch for you, an underhand softball.
Oh no.
The Kashima Antlers, the Yokohama F Marinos,
Oh.
and the Sanfrecce Hiroshima. I think
it's Japan.
no, that's actually Texas. I'm sorry, that was
You can't
Texas.
say those words to me.
That's no, you were correct, of course, Japan. How about FC Lorient, Montpellier, and Valenciennes?
I believe it's Montpellier. So if we're
Well, not
France.
when, not when. Which president lived at Montpelier?
oh
Probably
man, I
Madison.
don't know. Sure.
Come on, I gotta look this up.
Leicester midfielder James Madison.
House.
Jeez. Oh no.
We gotta. I mean, this is important.
This is
Here
gonna
we
be
go.
long.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was James Madison. I was right. I'm very smart. That's all I needed to
See,
get.
I'm so happy that you knew that.
Yeah, well, I drink and I know things or something like that. Ian, you have done. Let's see. Let's count.
Was it France? It was France.
8 countries so far. Yes,
Mhm.
correct. And you were 7-1. You're doing so well. Let's move on to Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, and the Bray Wanderers.
God, it seems like a trick. Ireland.
You're right. You're doing so good at this, Ian. I'm so
One of
proud
those
you.
has to be Finn Balor's team.
Bray, of course. That's his hometown. That's every Irish wrestler's hometown. By the way, they look pretty sick. Good kits. Oh my God, look at that stadium. Wow. This is good stuff. Way to go, Bray. I want to go to a game here. All right.
Ooh, that is a nice crest, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pasting it in the notes for everybody to see. Bray County, Wicklow.
Also, huge
coast.
fan of teams with green and white stripes as their
I agree.
colors.
I agree. I also want to say that I always love seeing the ocean in places that aren't like southern because it always looks so cold and dead. And like that could be the middle of summer when that photo is taken and that ocean looks like it's about 45 degrees, which
Oh yeah,
probably
you
is.
cannot pay me to swim in that ocean.
Oh, but the Bray Wanderers are effectively out of business according to this. So that's sad. Hopefully they got unouted of business.
Hopefully, us plugging them on the podcast. Hopefully that helps.
That's right.
That's right. Ian, this is going to stay just as easy as it's been the whole time. Okay, so I'm really proud of you so far. 8-1, you're doing great, and where it's only getting easier from here. We're moving on to Velez Sarsfield, Rosario Central, and Boca Juniors.
I don't even know.
Ian,
If I told you which players played for Rosario Central?
Rosario Central, actually a middle school named after Rosario Dawson in Middlesburg, New York. But, also this soccer team. That's none of that is true. That was
Not to be confused with.
I didn't want Rosario Dawson to sue our podcast.
Right.
Ian, this is very straightforward. That's right.
I have no context.
Velez Sarsfield, Rosario Central, and Boca Juniors.
My dogs are pissed. It's Portugal.
It's not Portugal.
I mean,
Ian.
They speak Portuguese.
Not even close.
Oh, this is Portugal again. This is just Portugal again.
It is actually Argentina.
Oh, I got my Brazil.
So
and
they
Argentina
don't even
teams
speak.
mixed up.
This is Southern Portugal again.
That's right. Ian, we're moving on to IF Elfsborg, Orgite IS, and Malmo FF.
Oh man.
One of those is a city you've heard of because of hockey and racism, but mostly hockey.
I know, yeah. Okay,
Malmo,
what are they again?
known for its racism.
IF Elfsborg, Orgite IS, and Malmo FF.
Czechia.
No, Ian, that was Sweden.
Oh.
Sweden is the racist place. Swedish people are racist.
I think Malmo specifically is very racist.
Yes.
Finnish people would
true.
agree.
Oh, Sweden loves to Finnish people. I don't know. That wasn't good.
Oh,
ADO Den Haag, or Den Haag, perhaps. Groningen and Heerenveen. ADO Den Haag, Groningen, and Heerenveen.
Denmark.
Ian, think about that again.
No, I won't.
Where is the Hague? Do you know that much? The Hague, as people call it?
No.
Okay, well, that's a shame. I thought that was really going to help. That would be in
I will not think about it.
That would be in the Netherlands, and you were
I mean,
horrifying.
aren't the Netherlands and Denmark the same thing?
Basically, but we aren't allowed to say that for political reasons. Okay, moving
So
on to
close.
the most fun of these by far. The Orlando Pirates, the Kaiser Chiefs, and the Malmados Sundowns. Oh, sorry, the Mamelodi Sundowns. I like the Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm
What are
into
they
that.
again? What?
The Kaiser Chiefs have like an awesome stadium too. It's very
The
fun.
Kaiser Chiefs, yeah, the Orlando Pirates and the Mamelodi Sundowns.
It's, the United States.
Oh,
Orlando. Yeah.
Oh,
Right. Oh no.
Oh no. This is going off the rails. The Mamelodi Sundowns just stole Brazil's kits, which I think is quite a move. And it is an especially an interesting move because they are in South Africa. The country you were looking for was South Africa. You've had 4 wrong answers in a row since I told you very clearly that this was going to get easier from here. So I don't know what you're doing, but let's move on to Braga, Benfica, and Maritimo. Braga, Benfica, and Maritimo.
This one's Brazil.
oh,
It's Oh, so close. They do speak Portuguese, but that's because they are in
Oh
Portugal.
no. Pre-Portugal.
That's right. Now we've got Victoria Pilsen,
This has gone off the rails.
Vysočina, Jilava, and I can't even do it. Zbrojovka.
You were doing so good. You're doing so good with these pronunciations.
It's Croatia.
Ian, I'm begging you to stop and
I won't. I didn't have to think about the first one, so I'm not going to think about the latter
Are you
one.
locking in Croatia?
This is like when you go bowling and you keep throwing gutter balls,
Yeah.
and then someone's like, "Just stop, take a breath."
Croatia. Final
That's right.
answer.
It's Czechia. You were right before.
And they
I
both
said
start with
earlier.
C. I don't know what you're talking about. This is like picking up a
I
pin or
can't
two.
just give you a country that starts with the same letter as your country. That's
Yes.
not how anything works.
I
We
know,
just
but
got
that's
on
like a pin
some-
or two. That's
We just got on
Alrighty,
some
Ian.
Central European list, I think.
All right, Ian. I want you to take a deep breath, calm
Hold my
yourself, collect yourself, because we're now moving on to Seattle Sounders, Columbus Crew, and Colorado Rapids.
The United States of America.
Ian, are you sure
Easy.
you want to
Think
answer
about
this?
Please.
Think about it.
Please take some time to think about it. Are you locking in that answer?
North America. But
But specifically the United States, right? Because I can't give you North America.
yeah.
Toronto, Colorado.
Name the 3 of them again.
Seattle Sounders, Columbus Crew, and Colorado.
Yeah,
Rapids.
USA. Yeah, USA.
Vancouver
Very-
Whitecaps, York FC.
That's right. Vasco da Gama, Fluminense, and Palmeiras.
You're gonna get it this time. Just know.
Brazil. It's Brazil.
Yay! You did it! You did it, everybody. Everybody's so
Portuguese
excited.
right
You
on the
got one.
nose.
You got one. Here's another one. America, Santos Laguna, and Cruz Azul.
Mexico.
Yes, he's on a heater.
Future Leagues Cup rivals.
You
Yes.
have officially not gotten less than 50% of these. I'm so proud of you. Now let's move on to Olympiacos, Aris Thessalonica, and Atromitos.
This quiz is actually 12 pages long.
Greece.
You may notice one of these towns from the Bible, and you're correct. It's Greece. Very good.
Oh,
Very
that
good.
thing? That book?
That's right. Yeah. So it's unpopular these days, but it had a good run.
That work
Um,
of historical fiction?
That's right. Wow, spicy take.
Shots fired.
We did-
Shots fired.
we did not-
Podcast over.
The STL podcast does not endorse Justin's controversial religious.
Sorry.
takes.
That's
Please
it's 16 years of St. Louis Catholicism that just read
Please don't write us, please. We beg you. Finally, we've got Zamalek Al Ali and Haras El Hadud. Oh, I love the silence. I enjoy the silence so much. I gotta fill air to let people know we're still here. As Ian racks his brain to try and get 13% of these correct, which, if my quick calculations are right, is equal to a 75% grade. No, it's not. Bad at math, 65% grade on this.
Bunch
thing.
of cats just started wailing because of the silence. But just let them know we haven't gone anywhere. We're still here for
We're
you.
still here, kitties.
Turkey. It's turkey.
Are you sure you want to lock in? Are you
Sure. I
sure
don't know.
about
I'm not gonna guess a different country.
Ian, call upon the wisdom of the pharaohs and see if you can get this answer correct.
But see, that feels like cheating now.
All right,
Fine. Egypt. It's Egypt.
Wrong. I'll count it as wrong if you insist. That's up to you. It was Egypt, though, as my very carefully chosen clue might have made clear.
This country has a soccer club called Pyramids FC. Pyramids FC.
That's Orlando's stadium. That's sick.
That's
the Kaiser Chiefs.
Kaiser Chiefs Stadium. Yes.
Kaiser Chiefs. There's Kaiser Chiefs is nothing. Or is that the band? No, Kaiser Chiefs were the band too.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's a band.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Ruby.
You got it. It's all related.
So, yeah, let's stop talking now before I dig this hole any deeper. Anyone have anything else y'all would like to say before we move on from this?
No, I'm just about to paste a picture of the Pyramids FC logo in the chat real quick.
Also Illuminati related.
Oh boy, this is going to get playfully racist.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, that's cool. Yeah. It's kind of
established in 2018.
It is,
all good football clubs are.
I will say it is weird that the pyramids play a much smaller role in this logo than the Sphinx.
What is that?
Pyramids. Like what do people know about pyramids? The Sphinx, of course.
Seems like you could have gone pyramids at the top and Sphinx at the bottom, but that's not my call. That's their call. So
pyramids are very small in this logo. I almost missed them even being there.
Yeah, you really had to zoom in to see them. But that's not pyramids aren't for everybody. I would just assume that they are for the people who named themselves after the pyramids. So that's it. We've got a lot of thoughts about pyramids and a lot of thoughts about stadiums and flags. But we're stopping our thoughts until next time. Ian, it was great to have you back. We hope you can join many more times. The torture might not even be as severe next time.
Both
I'll
you
see you guys in the fall.
And the listeners have been tortured enough.
Ian, as we already discussed, in my mind, the fall starts next week because it will be September. So
that's right.
Until next time, folks, Liverpool better win some games or there will never be another episode of this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.